This is one of the biggest lies about entrepreneurship. Gee, I'd love to start a business, but I don't have any money, so I guess I can't and I won't. Wrong. You don't need any money to start a business, and so if you don't have any cash in your pocket, I'm gonna give you 5 ways that you can still start a business right now. Number 1, do a pre-order. And a pre-order just means you're taking orders for products or services, collecting the money, and then using that money to actually go make the product or buy the supplies you need. Now, Kickstarter made this famous, but people do it all the time. You can come up with your business idea, make a logo for free, make some social media posts for free, make some digital flyers for free, you get the trend here, make an email address and basic website all for free, and then start taking orders for your product before you even have the product, and then use that money to then go make the product. And in fact, taking a pre-order is a really smart way to do this because it ensures that you're never gonna make more product than you're able to sell. And I can prove it to you because my very first business, it's back, oh, it's not back there. I don't have it on the shelf today. That was embarrassing. My very first business, Big Bear Barbecue Sauce. I did an entirely separate video just chronicling what happened in this, what went wrong, what would I have done differently. But the short version is I spent $10,000, you didn't hear me wrong, 10 grand starting this business, ordering thousands of bottles of my own custom barbecue sauce because that was the minimum order quantity from the person I chose to go make it. I did it so wrong. And if I had just instead done a pre-order and said, who wants to buy my sauce? Okay, 10 people wanted to buy it. I could have made enough sauce homemade for those 10 people and realized that was a really bad business. It was a cool product, but it's a bad business. And so I think being forced to do a pre-order because you don't have any money to start the business can actually be one of your greatest strengths, because if you have some money to start a business, you can be really tempted, like I was, to just buy a bunch of inventory because you're like, yeah, this thing, like, who wouldn't want to buy this? Of course people are going to buy this. And then you find out they don't. And so doing a pre-order is a great way to avoid this altogether. Number 2, start a simpler business first to raise money for the next business you actually want to start. You know, sometimes we get so locked into a vision of what we want to start and we think we need money to start it. We don't have the money, and so we never actually get started. But some of us need to think in smaller steps than that. Like, let's say you wanted to buy a couple $100s of fabric to start a reusable gift bag company, but you don't have a couple $100. What if you literally just did a lemonade stand? Sounds simple, so we overlook it, but if you literally just made a lemonade stand for a couple of weekends, or probably even one strong Saturday, you would have the money. And so do a smaller, simpler business that you have no intention to run long-term, just as kind of a temporary gig to go raise the money for your next business. You have to think a little creatively. This is a great way to do it. Number 3, charge for part of your service in advance. Now, this is similar to a pre-order, but perhaps you're selling a higher price service. It's not uncommon to ask for half of the money up front to secure their spot. So for example, if you're selling meal prep services, ask for half of the money up front so you can use that to go buy and prepare all the food. Then ask for the second half once you actually deliver the food. That's extremely reasonable to ask of your customers, and it's a very simple but easy way to raise the money that you need. Number 4 is borrow, don't buy the tools needed to do the job. A lot of us feel like we need to go buy new gear or equipment to launch our business, but this can get expensive really fast. So why not just borrow stuff? Borrow your friend's camera, borrow a lawnmower, borrow a power washer, a neighbor's oven, or a woodshed. Don't let money hold you back. Just get creative and don't be afraid to ask people for favors. And if you're nervous to ask someone for a favor, just explain why. Just be human, be real, and give them the why behind your ask. Say, hey, do you mind if I borrow your lawnmower for 2 weeks because I'm starting a lawn mowing business? But don't just leave it at that. That is your why, but that's not your why. That's not deep down why you're starting the business. Then say why you're doing it. Hey, because I'm really trying to save up for my first car. I'm trying to save up for college, or I'm trying to help my family with some of these high bills lately. Give them the reason that you're asking for the favor, and I promise there's like a 99% chance they're gonna say yes, or at least find a way to help you. Number 5 is to borrow a small amount of money. Now, this would personally be my last option because I think you can get a lot done with the first 4 that I covered, but if you just can't, for whatever your situation is, you just can't get the money up front, just find someone to borrow it from, and this doesn't have to be complicated. Try to figure out the lowest amount of money that you actually need. If you think you need 20 bucks, don't go borrow 50. Just go borrow 20 and you know, get rolling, get some momentum. And this doesn't have to be complicated. Just come up with a 1-page contract. All you got to do is include these simple things and you're off to the races. Put your name, their name, put the borrowed amount, the payback date, when are you going to give their money back, the interest rate, and don't overcomplicate this. Basically just put how much you're going to pay them for allowing you to borrow their money. So if the interest rate was 10% on $100, you'd pay them back $110 on the payback date. Don't worry about how often this compounds pounds? Is it annual interest? Is it monthly interest? Whatever. It doesn't matter. Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, this is what I'm going to pay you back for allowing me to borrow your money. Put a short description of what the money will be used for. Then also put a sentence that you personally guarantee this amount. And if you're unable to pay back that amount by the date, that you'll get an hourly job and you'll give them 100% of everything you make until that amount plus interest is paid back. Then you both sign it. It can be that simple. Now, I know I've gone really rapid fire through these, but I really just want to squash the objection that you have to have a bunch of money to start a business. You don't. All you need to do is just pick one of the things I just outlined and move on. You don't need to overthink it. And so to help you take action, we have a video on the screen here to help you come up with a profitable business idea and launch it in just 5 days. We've helped so many people do this. I promise this is the best way to get started. So I'll see you there.